Very good evening, wherever you are watching us from this fifth day of the fifth month of 2020. It's actually the sixth day since Kenya reported its first case of COVID-19 infections. And then, since then, the government has come up with a raft of measures to try and contain the spread of this disease. And these measures include the curfew, the dusk to dawn curfew, and also cessation of movements in and out of several counties, including Nairobi as the capital city. But again, the business sector has also taken a hit because the government announced that hotels will not be operating because of this spread. A few weeks ago, the president came out and said, as a way of trying to bring and revive the economy and keep it running, hotels, restaurants, and eateries will be allowed to operate only if they adhered to the measures and directives from the Ministry of Health. And these measures include that they should reapply for a new permit to show that they're actually following the guidelines and measures. Again, they have to test their staff of COVID-19, and these staff must be found to be negative for the establishment to keep operating. Again, don't forget that they were asked to keep a social distance of 1.5 meters from a client to another. That is about 4 seats within a 10 cubic meter space. Again, they were also asked to install temperature measuring equipment at the entrances. How are these measures viable? Tonight we are looking into that and the whole impact of these measures on the hotel industry. I am your host, Vincent Kerosi, right from the Bamboo Cask Lounge and also the Sirona Hotels, Sirona Getaway, right? Sirona Getaway, right?
Yeah.
And to help us in divulging into the issue is our host here. I am the host of the show, but we have the host on location, and this is Dan Njenga. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you very much, Vincent.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about how COVID-19 has affected our businesses. Those of us who are running hotels, restaurants, and providing accommodation. As you are aware, the government stopped hotels and bars from operation. Yeah, and it was actually very emotional for, especially myself, to see 25 employees going home without hope of when they are going to come back. But we welcome the move by the Ministry of Health and the government of reopening the restaurants, even though with the many raft of measures that we have to observe and the guidelines from Ministry of Health. I think it's very important because we will revive the businesses. You know, now everyone now, including the staff and ourselves, we do not have any income. Yeah. So it is a move that we appreciate, and we hope that the government is going to support us in terms of following these guidelines and
Yeah, we're going to look into the guidelines deeply. But again, let's talk about the hotel sector or the hotel industry even before COVID-19. How was it?
Hotel industry was doing very well because we run a lounge, so we were having patrons every single day, people coming here for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and drinks. We were also offering accommodation, and this was also even guests from other countries, from tourists from other countries were coming here, and we were offering them accommodation. So we cannot complain about business before COVID-19 because the tourism sector was doing well, and people are still going about their normal businesses. People had some small change in their pockets, and they could come here and spend. Yeah, but now, zero.
Things have taken a real hit.
Yeah.
Down under, as they say. But again, these are the measures the government is trying to come up with and to see that this spread is contained. Let's talk about the establishments, the hotel establishment, restaurants. We talk about the 1-star, a 2-star, 5-star, and all that. Can you try to just give more information on what a 1-star, a 2-star, or 3-star, and all that it is for our viewer out there to understand before we look at how the measures are actually affecting this kind of establishments?
You're talking about that in terms of investment?
Yes,
or,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It depends, Mr. Vincent, because you see, if you're running a 1-star hotel or restaurant for that matter, it means you're just doing the basic things.
Yeah.
You're cooking your food and waiting for your patrons to come. You serve the food, you close your hotel, and you go home. So investment is not that huge. But when you come to hotel or bars, the investment goes a little bit higher. Because you see, when you're making rooms, it's like you're making a home somewhere away from home.
Yeah.
That room has got a TV, a television set. You're providing Wi-Fi. You have to provide very good furniture for the room to look good.
Yeah.
You must also provide very good beddings.
Yeah.
And all those things. And there are also very huge licenses to pay. You have to pay Music Copyright Society of Kenya. You also have to pay the trading licenses and all those other licenses that come with running a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending with the class.
Depends with the class.
Yeah. Now, let's look at these measures. You talked about an investment like an eatery downtown. You know, we know that people just walk in and pick their chips,
And walk away.
and walk away.
Yeah.
And then we talk of an investment, an establishment like this now, in uptown areas like this. And then talk about the measures. I just want us to look at these measures and their viability in the downtown eateries. How possible is it for them to really adhere to
Honestly
these
speaking, it will be very difficult for eateries and some of the restaurants in downtown to reopen.
Yeah.
Because when you look at maybe just one measure that you can only have 4 people in 10 cubic meter space.
Yeah.
And you will find most of these are kiosks that are maybe even that size.
Yeah.
So there is no way you can be able to serve 4 people and make proper returns to enable you run your restaurant. There are also other costs coming with reopening.
Yeah.
Like you have to get your staff tested. A single cost is going for about 9,000. So you can imagine if you have 10 employees. There is also a permit that will be issued by the Ministry of Health that is also coming with a cost.
How much is the permit actually?
We do not have the actual cost of the permit right now, but from the information that I have gathered, it's in the ranges of 30,000.
30,000.
Yes, so you do not expect that person who is running a kiosk in downtown or in the estates to be able to reopen. You remember, we have 2 months of no business at all. And then when you reopen, these measures are not coming for free. You'll have to spend money. Like we have done testing for 5 of our staff that we expect to be handling food. That is already 45,000. We are still waiting to know how much the government is going to charge in terms of the permit to operate. That is also another cost. We are not sure of business, even after adhering to all these Ministry of Health guidelines, because you see people are scared of eating out. So we are just waiting to see what happens, but we are optimistic that business will come back, although not like before, but we have to run the economy at the end of the day. We have to be doing something.
It will be running.
You've
talked about 9,000 for a test.
Yes.
For just one staff. Say, like we were talking before, and you told me that your establishment right here has around 20 to 30
employees.
Staff.
So we shall be operating on a skeleton staff
Yeah.
because we cannot afford to redeploy everyone.
Yeah.
Of course, that cost would be
too high.
mind-boggling,
Yeah.
and we are not sure of returns. If we were sure that we would open and patrons would storm in,
Yeah.
I mean, we would be so ready to redeploy all our staff.
Yeah.
But by the look of things, it is not something we want to rush to, but we are quite optimistic that things will work
We work. Okay.
to our advantage.
Now, let's look at time and seasons when actually the business is booming. Uh, given in mind the dusk to dawn curfew, even if you reopen right now, you only be able to open from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then you close business until the following day.
Following day.
What time is actually the peak time when the patrons boom in? Is it
That is
after
a very
4 p.m.?
interesting question, but we are also living in very interesting times.
Yes.
So people have to readjust. Of course, before, patrons used to come here from around the time now that we are being told to close. But these are interesting times, and people have to change their lifestyles. So if you want to have your drink and you want to have your lunch, you'll have to come early
Yeah,
and leave before
4 p.m.
the curfew.
You know, we are looking at this because I'm looking at this from this angle that at 4 p.m. it's time that people are getting out of their offices,
Yeah.
and now they want to have a good time. Maybe they're having business dates, evening business dates, business meetings, or even just to have a good time in the evening. It happens actually after 4 p.m., but this is the time that you're closing. So you expect people to be at work between 5 a.m. and 4 p.m.
That is a very interesting question, and I don't know what logic the Ministry of Health used to get to this time of 4 p.m. Because if you asked me, we should have been told to reopen our establishments, but still remember there is a curfew of.
Yeah, 7
So
p.m.
we work backwards from 7
p.m.
and know how we are going to organize our patrons, whether we are going to offer accommodation to our staff,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So that they do not have to leave here after 7. And also our clients, we can discontinue offering services 1 hour prior to the curfew.
Time,
That would have been good. But you see now, if you told 4 p.m., and you know that what that means in Kenya, you will find a policeman or kanjo waiting for you
at the gate.
At the gate after
5 minutes before.
5 minutes after 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So it will not make a lot of business sense to close restaurants at 4 p.m. I think they should have told us to observe curfew. Open your business, but know there is curfew.
Curfew time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that is it. Now, I want us to look at the ripple effect of these measures. You know, like now the curfew time, you've talked about you have had to send home a few of your employees, or a majority of your employees actually, they're home until when you reopen. What are some of the ripple effects of these measures that the ministry has come up with, just even beyond the establishment as a business? Talk of loss of jobs and all.
Yeah, of course, loss of job is imminent. We had to send our staff home. We had 25 employees, and we also had some casuals who used to come over in weekends when we are a bit busy.
Yeah.
All these people went home, and we absolutely had no choice. It was very emotional, as I told you earlier, to see all these people lose their livelihood, but there is nothing we could do about it. This is a global pandemic, I mean, it's not only affecting Kenya or our business, it is affecting everyone.
Yeah.
And even when you look at it, the ripple effect, we had suppliers. We had people supplying us with toiletries.
Yeah.
We had people supplying us with meat,
food
stuff.
Yeah.
We had people supplying us with beverages.
Yeah.
We had people supplying us with, services like the internet and all this stuff.
Yeah.
We had DJs playing over the weekend. All these people have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's mountainous.
It is large and wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than meets the eye.
Yeah, that meets the eye.
There
is the landlord.
Yeah.
I mean, we've closed down. There is no way we can afford that rent.
Yeah.
So everyone is suffering.
We want to take a short break, but on the other side of the break, we want to look at what then should the government be doing to keep the hotel sector and business in general afloat, and what is in store for the hotel sector, for the hotel industry post-COVID-19. Remember that you can tweet us at KAKTV_Kenya on Twitter, and on our Facebook page is KAKTV Kenya.